I can't say I'm not surprised that WWE BattleGround 2014 has received negative reviews among critics. You want to know why it received a negative review? Because this wasn't a pay-per-view. This was a preview for SummerSlam. And honestly, I think a lot of pay-per-views are suffering from that. These typical throwaway pay-per-views that WWE likes to throw at us every now and then really have gotten old, and it's not fun anymore. WWE has had, for a long time, 12 pay-per-views, maybe a little more than 12, maybe 13 pay-per-views a year. But see, it was different back then in around 2003, 2004, 2005 because you had the brand extension. The brand extension basically said, all right, Raw gets maybe six pay-per-views a year, SmackDown gets 6 pay-per-views a year. So you saw different guys on each show. That made the pay-per-views a little more fresh, a little more exciting. However, 2003, 2004, 2005, they did have some pretty horrible pay-per-views. However, it made sense to have that many pay-per-views. Now, ever since 2007, pay-per-views have lost that brand extension type thing, and now they're just free-for-all. Whoever's a wrestler is eligible to be on the pay-per-view card. And honestly, pay-per-views now are lacking because just there's so many. It's for WWE, it's quantity over quality. I would rather have 7 great pay-per-views in 2014 than have 13 pay-per-views and some be great, some be mediocre, some be bad. It's a mixed bag, and I don't want mixed bags. I just want greatness across the board. And I think we could get that if we keep the big 4 pay-per-views and maybe keep a few extra ones, maybe 3 or 4 extra ones. My philosophy is, let's keep Royal Rumble the way it is. Maybe keep it in the 3rd or 4th week of January. Then maybe throw in, maybe if you want to keep an Elimination Chamber pay-per-view in February, that's fine, because that builds towards WrestleMania, so keep that. Then keep WrestleMania at the last weekend of March, first weekend of April. Then I say keep Extreme Rules maybe for the 2nd or 3rd week of May. Then have Money in the Bank maybe the last weekend of June, first weekend of July. Maybe around there, and then have SummerSlam in the middle of August. Boom. Perfect. You don't have pay-per-views like BattleGround sneaking in there 4 weeks before SummerSlam and only 3 weeks after Money in the Bank just because WWE wants to cash in on some money. And honestly, the BattleGround gave false advertising. I hate to say it like that, but that's basically what it was. Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins was the hottest thing going in wrestling, or at least in WWE. And honestly, they built this show for them. That was the most highlighted match. It was the match that most people wanted to see. And they didn't give it to them because they want to have the real match at SummerSlam. That's what WWE wants. They want it at SummerSlam. But you got to have something for BattleGround because we need people to buy it. So they threw Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins out there knowing people will buy it because they want to see those two have a match. But no, we did get 3 great Brawl segments. I won't say WWE completely neglected them. However, we do have a problem arising here because fans wanted to see that and they didn't get it. So what do you do then? Oh, you just save it for SummerSlam, the pay-per-view that WWE actually wants to promote. And this also hurts other matches too, like the main event. Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, Cena, and Kane all had a fatal 4-way match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. It was an okay match. I mean, it wasn't the greatest thing in the world. It was fine. The only problem was we all knew who was going to win. And sure, we've been able to predict main events before, but not like this. We all know that John Cena is going to face Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. Almost every single person knew that. The main event was pointless. It was pointless to have this pay-per-view. The only reason I would say you should keep pay-per-views like this, pay-per-views like BattleGround, Hell in a Cell, TLC, I hate Hell in a Cell. I think that's my least favorite pay-per-view of the entire year. Put a fun spin on it. Make tournaments out of it for maybe like the IC or US title. Make some tournaments. Do fun shows. They don't even have to be 3 hours. Make them 2 hours. Who knows? You could give them 3 hours. Make it fun. Make it different. Don't make it like your average ordinary pay-per-view. You can have lower mid-card guys. You know, when was the last time Zack Ryder had a pay-per-view match? Maybe have him start a little program with another wrestler and have them go on the B-level pay-per-view. Make them for, the lower mid-card superstars. I know what you're thinking. How are they going to sell out audiences if, you got Zack Ryder on there and, R-Truth, people who really haven't been seeing, great attention from WWE? I say, why the hell do they need to put it in an arena? Have them go in a ballroom like what ECW did. Have them just fill an arena up for 2,000, 3,000 people. I think that would be great. And who says the pay-per-view has to be $50, $60? Make it 20. Make it 10. I don't care. Something that will just make it more fun. I feel like if WWE made pay-per-views that spotlighted, the lower mid-card talent, I'd be more than happy to watch them. Because the lower mid-card talent have talent. They do. They're good wrestlers. They're just not showcased. I say give them a few pay-per-views to just go out there and tear it up. Give them 3 pay-per-views to just, just have good matches. And again, it doesn't have to be in the friggin' Silverdome or the Superdome or Reliance Stadium or any other big stadium you want to think about. It can be in the Hammerstein Ballroom. Just like the ECW pay-per-views that drew 2,000, 3,000 people. I'm sure fans that are loyal enough to WWE would go to wrestling just to see wrestling. It's simple. I don't care who's wrestling. If a WWE show is coming by my neck of the woods, you bet your ass I'm going to try and go because I love wrestling and I want to watch wrestling live and it's fun to watch it live. I don't think WWE would suffer if they decided to say, you know what, BattleGround, no one really cares about that pay-per-view. TLC, no one really cares about that pay-per-view. Let's just have the lower mid-card guys give a time to shine. Maybe have the Intercontinental title main event a pay-per-view. How about that? That's really unheard of now, is it? The world title doesn't have to be defended. Maybe the world title, maybe the world champion makes an appearance. But how about the IC title or the US title gets the main event slot in those pay-per-views? Honestly, I think that's a fantastic idea. Or you just get rid of them altogether. Either thing is fine for me. But pay-per-views like BattleGround, pay-per-views like TLC, the ones that really people just don't care about. And Hell in a Cell, just get rid of that entire thing because I hate Hell in a Cell so much. But there are pay-per-views now that people do like that aren't big four. People do like Money in the Bank, Extreme Rules, Night of Champions. I do like those pay-per-views. I think they're neat. And Night of Champions has a concept. There's always a title on the line. That's a neat concept for a pay-per-view. And I mean, I don't say every single match has to be a certain gimmick, but again, just give the lower mid-card guys a chance to shine. Give the IC title, the main event. That'd be a great idea. And again, it doesn't have to be $60 to buy a pay-per-view. It can be $20. And you can put it in the Hammerstein Ballroom with 2,000 people or any other small venue that you want and draw only 5,000 people. That's fine. No one's going to look down on WWE. They're not going to lose revenue. If anything, they'd gain it because fans won't be so reluctant to buy pay-per-views like BattleGround or TLC when they know nothing eventful is going to happen because WWE doesn't care about that pay-per-view either. God, I mean, it just baffles me sometimes that WWE can just be so blind to that sometimes. But honestly, WWE, for some inexplicable reason, you somehow come across this video, I say take my advice to the grave and try it out. Who cares? Who cares if it doesn't work? You guys are a multi-billion-dollar company anyway. If only you just didn't treat your fans so horribly.